What's up, everybody? We're back. It's been a couple weeks. We've been busy. We've been really busy, and we're about to be even more busy. Joined, as usual, by Only LARPing and Mac Tyson, and our special guest here. He's batshit crazy. I love him. He's amazing. But Bucky and I always know Sonic, Obama, 10NU. Am I right?
I'm the former president of Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, Teninu. That's right, the People's Bitcoin. I ran one term before standing down, and moving on to other things. But yeah, that's right.
Well, if you ever decide to get tired of that, you definitely have like a career in voice acting, bro. You sound like some of the characters on Futurama, bro. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it. People tell me that. People do tell me that.
I hear it. I'm telling you right now. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it's something that it's an endeavor that one might endeavor to follow someday or another if said endeavor ever does kind of present itself in that endeavorous kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He's like, it's an endeavor. I might endeavor too. You're a politician, bro. You're a politician. Well, shit. All right. Well, let's open it up by Only LARPing. How you been? Mac Tyson, how you been? Bucky, how you been? Just open the floor.
Uh, I've been good. I bet that's also the backstory for the only LARPing alien. He comes from the Futurama, like 3,000 years in the future, where karate combat is the biggest sport in the world.
Absolutely.
That
Only
is
LARPing. How
that
you
is
been?
not that is not true at all.
It's not true at all.
Lies.
False.
Slander.
Slander.
All
So how
good
you been,
here.
Only LARPing? Yeah.
All good here, man. We've been so busy. It's really takes a toll. But today was a lot of fun. Got to see Bucky and Juicy's creation. Go out into the wild. And I think we did it in a fun way with almost no marketing and just let it kind of roll out. It was fun to watch, man. So I'm psyched
Yeah,
to,
I
to
woke up
tell you
this
about it.
morning and was like, "What's all this shit?" I was like, "These are cool as fuck." Yes, tell us about it. Tell us about it, Bucky. I woke up, my timeline was flooded with it. I loved it.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast to work on. Obviously, you got a thousand pieces, for 1,000 players, and every single piece is as much as we were able to is like an honorary customized piece for the individual recipient. So I've made this in collaboration with my partner, Mr. Juicy Unlimited, who he might be with us in the audience. I asked if he could come up and join, but he said it's too hot. And it is very hot right now. We're over in the UK, and it's a little bit of a heat wave. So
Where
yeah,
they
it's
don't have air conditioners. Ugh.
exactly, yeah. There's none of that over here. So I mean, it's a big job. 1,000 pieces, every single one of them individualized. But we didn't have really all that much to go on other than each person's username. That was the
Yeah.
kind of more or less the extent of the info that we had to work with. Um,
So where's mine? Because it was weird. I woke up and I didn't have one. I
are
didn't
you
make the cut.
are you one of the top 1,000?
Dude, I would think I'm 5%, man. I'm up there somewhere, bro.
Well, I mean,
I would
if you
just assume.
if you're in the top 1K, then it's got to be in there somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get to the bottom of that after this call. Um, but do me a favor, Bucky. So there's a lot of combat sports fans that watch karate combat just for the karate, just for the combat sports. How a lot of people don't understand NFTs either. How does NFTs tie? How do you tie NFTs into combat sports, and why should people care? Like if
Let,
that's
let
you
me
get
let
what I
me
mean?
just let me set the stage like super high level.
Do it.
So we built this game, kind of this, it feels like sort of like no loss gambling type of game. For all the karate token holders, they get to vote on which fighters they think are going to win. If they vote on winning fighters, they earn some more tokens. If they vote on losing fighters, nothing happens. And we've been doing that for a whole year now. And we had 65,000 people play the last time. And the whole time we've been keeping track, like who's the best at this, who's winning the most. And we added it all up at the end. And the top 1,000 players get a bunch
Ooh.
of benefits. They get an honorary customized NFT that Bucky and Juicy released today. They get tickets to the events. They get a bunch of merchandise. Some of them get flights to the events. Some Discord roles, you name it. It's all laid out in gov.karate.com. And so this was like the first piece of that. Yesterday was actually the first anniversary of the token launch. So it made sense to release these NFTs immediately after.
Well, I now understand why I didn't get one. I am not in the top 1,000. I'm terrible at betting because, like making the picks on the app, dude. I'm like, bro, those are both my boys. I'm gonna not touch that one. And then I go down. I'm like, I guess there's one fight on here. I'll make a pick.
Damn. Well, I mean,
Well,
at least you play true to yourself.
Yeah, I gotta be real, bro. Because if I'm kicking it with one of the fighters after, and they're like, "So who'd you bet on?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, 100%." What, dude? Oh my god, what was that? Nah, I gotta just keep it real. I can't bet when I got two homies going on. But yeah, Buck, you tie that in. So how does same question.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, one of the ways of looking at NFTs is as a digital collectible,
Hmm.
and I think the kind of easiest sort of way to compare it to something that we'd be more familiar with, from outside of crypto, etc., would be things like trading cards, or comic books, or
Hmm.
any kind of collectible like that, where you've got a large body of these things that people kind of sort of obsessively collect and kind of gain speculative value and whatnot. Obviously, with things like when it comes to NFTs, there's also like the the fact that these, because they're on the blockchain, they can then act as things like sort of members passes, and sort of like utility, like they can kind of be routes into sort of what's the word, like you might get certain privileges for holding a particular NFT, or so, like, for example, it might be that someone is putting out an NFT collection, and they might whitelist the holders of another collection. So if you've got you know your NFT in your wallet, and someone else is putting out a new collection of work, anyone who's holding that other piece, they might get like a discounted entry price on there. So I mean, that's like a little bit of an overview there on what like an NFT is. But in terms of where it comes in into combat sports, and into what's going on here with karate combat, I mean, like, immediately for me, there's that connection of like the trading card, you know. Now, normally, like when it comes to sports, obviously, that it's like you got collections of cards that are based on, you know, on the sportsmen, on the fighters and whatnot. But this kind of
Rookies,
flips.
signed autograph cards, all that stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. But this kind of flips that on its head in a couple of different ways. So, um, like, first and foremost, like, it's a pretty common thing, like with NFT collections, for there to be what are called honorary pieces. And an honorary piece will be, a piece in the collection that is based on maybe a celebrity or an influencer, and it's kind of done. It'll either be done in partnership with that individual, or it'll be done to kind of get some attention, and to try and gain their interest and whatnot. This I don't think that any other collection. I don't think it's been done before, where every single piece is an honorary portrait of every single individual recipient. as far as we're aware, this is the first time that that's been done. So not only is it, is it's focusing on the players and kind of, you know, giving the players of the Up Only Gaming app that kind of um that
Utility.
well, yeah, but that the word I'm looking for there is this. Because it's like a commemorative sort of prestige piece, right? That marks their contribution, their position in the
In the
league.
community. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So it really puts the players first. It puts the community first. And I mean, we're very careful not to announce beforehand that the collection was going to be kind of like based on each individual person in the way that it was. We wanted to kind of keep that, nice and quiet, um, and see how people reacted to it and see how people responded to it. And I'm telling you now, man, seeing the reception today, seeing the way that you know the light bulb moment as people
Yeah.
have kind of realized, wait a minute, it's that's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, just on that ground alone, it's been a major success for me.
Awesome. Well, so like I can kind of part of why I started working with Campai Pandas, which worked with Karate Combat as well, was I told them I don't know shit about NFTs. Like, to be honest, didn't really care that much. I didn't hate it. It didn't make sense to me. But then they explained it the same way kind of you did. It's like you're buying into so like in the UFC, you used to be able to sign up for a thing called Fight Club, and it's like $100 a year or something like that, and you get exclusive access to a few little things. I mean, you get like a keychain and a t-shirt, and then you get exclusive like Wednesday access to tickets and when they go on sale on Friday and stuff. So you're buying into like a community where it grants you access to a little bit more access. Well, you get what I mean. Grants
Exactly.
access. And so like with us, or with you guys, we're doing more stuff where when you buy into this type of thing, and I can't imagine it being, I don't know, more than like some of these other ones you hear about, but you get one of these NFTs and you're part of like a community now where you might get an email saying like, if you want to come to this event, you got flights, you got everything hooked up for you. It's like a prize pool for a community all supporting one thing. Is that fair to say?
I mean, yeah, that's more or less it's the way that I look at it yeah, like you say, it's like a member's badge almost,
A rewards
it's
member. Yeah.
yeah, it's like the official kind of like authorized fan club type stamp type thing,
Yeah.
one of the ways that we approached the collection itself, the aesthetic, the kind of concept that we were rolling with, we were looking at like a lot of different stuff, like old video games, like old fighting arcade games, things like that, old kung fu movies. We were looking at sort of like karate instruction manual type things and all this sort of stuff. And in the end, the path that we went down, because we knew that we wanted something that was like classic, that had a sort of like nostalgic kind of feel to it. And in the end, that ended up being this kind of comic book aesthetic. And specifically for me, the main kind of thing that I was going for there was like y- you seen in like old comic books where you've got like the ad pages where it's like
Oh,
you
dude,
can
I
cut
have
out the little coupon.
extensive comic book collection. So yes.
Right, and you got it's like you can cut out the coupon and you can send off for like your sea monkeys and your X-ray spectacles and all that sort of stuff.
Yo. Mm-hmm.
And you can also kind of sign up for your official kind of fan club type thing. All that sort of stuff was kind of the angle that we were going for. With the presentation of the stuff.
Well, I mean, I see a lot of different NFTs and stuff out there, and a lot of times, like, they don't have this type of aesthetic. I love this one. Like I said, first thing I saw this morning, I was like, "What the fuck? What did we do? What's happening?" And I was like, "Oh, these are sick, dude. I think you nailed it." Like, I'm looking
I
at one
mean,
right here, Karate Mommy number 23. Like
oh
that
yeah,
one's
she's got the
dope.
cookie.
Yeah, she got a
The
good one.
cookies. Dude, you made 1,000 of these. He's like, "Oh, the one with the cookies." Yeah. Like, bro.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty memorable.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I'm gonna
so,
need a thousandth and
like
one though. I'm gonna need a
Mr.
thousandth and
Thief.
one.
That's what it was. Almost the name of the collection was 1001 because the people are bugging Bucky for just one more.
Ooh, Bucky, I'm your boy. Come on, we'll work this out. You gonna be in Austin?
I don't know. I'd like to. It's the end of this month, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
30th.
Possibly. I've got I think something like 5 weeks worth of sleep deficit to catch up on right now.
Better get to it.
So I mean, if I tuck myself in nice and tight right now and don't do another single thing before the end of the month, then maybe I'll have enough energy to do it.
I call bullshit. I call bullshit because I'm gonna see you there in Austin. You're gonna be like, haven't slept since, bro. What's up?
Yeah, too right.
Fuck. Well, so look, so what we're talking about that, like that the incentivization of getting into like this type of thing. Like, let's talk about your experience and only LARPing and Mac Tyson. Describe the atmosphere of like some of these last cards we've been to, and just the overall atmosphere of like a Karate Combat card. Like, why is this something anyone would even want to sign up for? Yup.
Yeah,
How do
I
you
mean,
describe these, man? They're weird.
So
it's
first of all, I don't get to relax for the first 80% of the entire event, but that last 20% is so awesome. Um, yeah, I mean,
Honestly,
I
like
walk out of there and people are having literally people act like they had the time of their lives, and I just don't think people are faking it. I really think it's like one of the best live sporting events in the world.
I've never seen a sad person. It's like they say, like
Yeah.
I've never seen a sad person on a jet ski. Never seen a sad person at a Karate Combat event.
honestly, like for me, in Vegas, that was the first time since my first karate combat event that I could just
Actually
sit
watch
down
instead of being
and
put in that tiny room in the Dominican Republic where it's no air
yeah,
conditioning,
yeah,
sweating your balls off. You gotta, yeah.
yeah. And honestly, though, like I was watching it with my mom, and I brought my mom out because she's a big karate combat fan too. But like, it was nerve wracking for me because like since I'm so used to like running around and doing stuff during the event, just sitting down and relaxing and watching the fight, it made me feel like I was doing something wrong.
I get you. I get you.
But I will say, when I explain uh, karate combat to people, I always say that it's like a mix of three different vibes. It's a mix of a live sporting event, combat sports event, a live TV show audience,
Mhm.
and a party. Like
Yeah.
people are
And Mac
honestly.
used to be the guy that had to hold up the applause and cheer cards to the audience. What were you gonna say, Bucky? But no, you're right, Mac.
Because like honestly, people are dancing in between rounds.
Oh hell yeah, bro! Like I'm over there trying to work, and motherfuckers be walking over like, dude, you still standing here? Like I work here. Yeah, I need to stand here, bro. They're just vibing, and I'm always like, dude, I'm so sorry. I need to stand here. You can have a great time 6 inches over. Just let me squeeze my shoulder in here and get my phone. Yeah. But Bucky,
But
explain your experience. Or go ahead, Mac.
I just want to add one more thing though, like from the karate cartel perspective of things, like something I've already even starting to notice is that like it does kind of help bring that community together online because like it's not like MMA Twitter where like everybody kind of really knows each other, but like when you have this badge that like when I see somebody with their karate cartel profile picture, I know they're one of my people.
Yeah.
They're a karate combat fan. They're a hardcore fan that
Great point.
they're on the voting every event. So it's like it is helping to bring the community closer together. It's why I even posted on Twitter saying, "Hey, if I'm not following you and you have a Karate Cartel profile picture, like and comment on his post, and I'll follow you."
Okay, this is funny because it reminded me of the community thing. Only LARPing. Did you see this? And Bucky too, and Mac too. The other day, someone got cat. I don't know. Someone was catfishing again on MMA Twitter, and
Oh,
I
I
just
love
put out
those
a
stories.
yeah. I put out a tweet where I said like, "All right, guys, people are getting busted for catfishing in this community all the time, so I want to get out in front of it before I get caught."
Yeah. Oh, and
I'm
then
actually,
Grok
and then
picked it up,
Grok
right?
made it into a fucking for a day straight. It was trending that I was a 5'4" middle-aged Korean
I
lady.
love that. Did people do the copy pasta thing on it or no?
Did they what?
So like that
Wait,
happened
you're
on
not?
crypto Twitter a bunch of times,
Uh
and it's
huh.
because in crypto Twitter people do this copy pasta thing. When someone makes a ridiculous tweet, everyone else will copy it without mentioning it's a copy paste or whatever. And
Yeah,
so
and
then
maybe
like
change like a
50 people will
word.
post the whole same thing,
Hmm.
and then Grok picks it up and writes a news article about it.
That's what I think happened because people were like retweeting mine with the same wording, except just
Yes,
switching out Korean lady for like
right.
whatever they wanted to be.
Uh-huh.
And then yeah, sure enough, Grok saying like shocking revelation, Mac Malley is actually a 5'4" Korean lady. And then it's like goes on this whole fucking article about like user this one chimed in and said like, the
Didn't it bring up your
misogyny.
dog?
It did. Someone asked it about my dog, and it was like, well, Mac Mally's not really that big. There are other big accounts in the community, such as Gokon the God, who has claimed that he has 1.8 billion viewers more than him, and it stated it as fact.
Well, now at least we know what your PFP has got to look like, huh?
Oh shit, dude! You make me a Korean lady dressed like this, bro, and a baseball bat and a gi. Let's do it.
Yeah, she's got to be pregnant too. I think would be
Oh, that's hot.
the cherry on the cake there.
I got one
And
more
just
funny story for you,
and then
Bucky.
just Gokon on a throne in the background.
Yeah, it's got to have Gokon in there for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like the main part of it. But I remember the first time I met Bucky, it was fucking hilarious. I think it was in the Dominican. It had to have been the Dominican the first time I
Yeah,
met
that's
Bucky.
right. Yeah,
And
over in
the first thing he
Dominican.
goes, "Do you think fucking Boss rooting over there?" We were drinking and like
Oh
chilling
yeah.
right there. And you're like, "Do you think Boss would kick my ass right now?" I was like, "Oh, he totally could." You're like, "No, do you think he will?" I was like, "For what?" And you're like, "Content."
Yeah.
Sure enough, like 20 minutes later, I look over and Boss kicking the shit out of you on the side of a table.
Yeah, that was a hell of a lot of fun. I've got like a few different little clips of it. And there's a nice clip where we're kind of figuring out the choreography.
Yeah.
Very very in depth planning going into that. Uh, you know, um, prior to the actual filming of the clip. And so we're like, yeah, maybe like this. Okay, okay, bum, 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 bum. Plan it all out. It's all nice and clean, and then we go ahead and do it. And yeah, he totally kicked my buddy right in the fucking head. Like,
Yeah, he committed. You guys
like
found out real quick. You're like, we shouldn't have choreographed any of this.
yeah, it was fantastic. That was great. Yeah, that was the first time that I came over for uh you know a karate combat event. And I'd never seen anything like it before. It
Yeah.
was insane. It was in that incredible location. I can't remember the name of it now, but it was like
Punto de Cana is where you flew in. The theater.
yeah, the
Altos
amphitheater.
de Chavon, are we talking about
Yeah,
Dominicans?
de Chavon, yeah.
The fucking amphitheater. So it's like in this kind of ancient sort of gladiatorial sort of setting.
Roman,
And
yeah.
obviously you'd had like the thunderstorms and all this sort of shit, the tropical thunderstorms going on. So the fact that you guys were able to actually get it set up seemed like a miracle in and of itself, because it was like, how are they gonna do this? It's you got the heavens have opened up and the place is just absolutely drenched, but somehow you pulled it all together. And then you know there you go. Before long, the fight is happening. It's the most electric atmosphere that you've ever seen. There was that fantastic shit, what was it her name again? There was like the halftime act. um it just the whole thing, man. The whole thing is
Yeah.
absolutely nuts. And everybody who I've spoken to, who's kind of coming at this from the more sort of like Web3 sort of side of things, they're all completely blown away. And are like, what the hell? Like, this is combat sports? Like, because it's I think what you got going on is like it's a unique mixture of people coming together for the first time.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, that's a beautiful thing to see. And likewise, it's because I've got buddies who I've been speaking to about it, and they've had no idea about the kind of Web3 side either. So like it's you got this real nice melting pot, and I mean I hope that things like the PFPs, that these kind of like serve a purpose where they kind of they work as a little bit of waving a flag that kind of says, look at this. There's something going on here.
Like the one behind Only LARPing right now. That should be one of those. Just be one of those. He's got the flag right there on the moon.
But just to expand on what Bucky was talking about, of like the different people that come to these events, the three main demographics for Karate Combat right now is like how Bucky mentioned, like your Web3 fan that maybe they have a little experience with watching combat sports, or maybe nothing at all, but they're signing on to Karate Combat because it's a huge project. You have your general fight fan that they just see Karate Combat as something shiny, new. They might love striking and they just want to go for a more striking focused sport. So it's just something new and exotic and something crazy that they want to enjoy. And then you have your general karate fan, the people that either train the art or they have a lot of love for the art through watching things like Cobra Kai and Karate Kid, that they just really want to see a professional karate league. So finding that middle ground where uh, where there's a rough consensus of how to move forward between these three things, I feel is the huge thick part of moving forward with Karate Combat, because uh, you don't have to like satisfy each of these, but you don't want everyone to be upset either. There has to be a little bit of a balance.
Yeah. Well, and going into that, I think Karate Combat has like the prime rule set for engaging new fans. A lot of new fans, if you try to get them onto UFC, you're like, this is gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a banger, I promise. And then they shoot for takedowns the whole time because both of them don't want to strike. Our rule set is pretty fucking simple. You can be brand new to the sport and be like, guys trying to beat the other guy's ass. I can understand that. Anyone can understand that. And then it's not too complex where then they start developing their favorites. We tapped into a whole nother market. And we're like, hey, you're new to this, come check this out. And then you have a better view, especially in venue, than any other combat sport. So it's like a really unique mix, and you can see it in the way, like you said, Mac. People kind of it's easy to get new fans for it.
And you definitely know that you're onto something when copycat leagues start popping up, and there's a bunch of regional organizations popping up around the world: UK, Indonesia, Chile. Some are even calling out Korea Combat as rivals, though I would argue that they're way far behind where Karate Combat is right now. Where
Give me and Bucky a bag full of bath salts and put me where those people are at. We'll take care of that.
Rival leagues. Yeah, yeah. Point us in that direction, and
Just drop us out of a plane, dude. We don't even need parachutes. Just drop us out.
Which one's talking shit, Mac?
um,
The Indonesian one?
I don't want to say it completely just because it was
Blast
in
'em.
Indonesian.
Blast 'em.
I don't know how to speak Indonesian, but from what I could find from translations, it did sound like Prime Kumite Championship was calling Karate Combat out.
Okay, only LARPing. Me and Bucky gonna need 2 one-way flights to Indonesia stat
Wait,
and a bag of.
Can someone pull up their Instagram or whatever?
Let's pull up their 500 follower Instagram. Let's go ahead. What's it called?
Prime Kumite Championship.
Prime Kumite. Oh, dude, fuck off.
I wonder if they need a 1,000 1,000
They got
custom
almost 3,000.
PFP collection.
Oh, 3,000 followers. Sorry, guys. And what'd they say, Mac?
Again, it was in Indonesian, so it just sounded like they are like target it, like they aren't seeing themselves as like a stepping stone regional league to for fighters to get into Karate Combat. They're seeing themselves more as a league that will grow to be Bellator
karate
of,
combat.
of professional karate.
Okay, so they're calling us the UFC then. Peep that though. Like, what if their shirt says karate versus everybody, bro?
Hold on,
Fuck off.
pulling this up. Pulling this up. Hold on.
Me and Bucky will go over there and take care of this.
Hold on.
Ain't no way.
No
Ain't no way. Not my house. Do you see this denim gi? And straight up, they yak that fucking shirt design from UFC's 205 styling for New York City. 100%. That's actually crazy. I remember that. Let's see here. Oh, dude, they even have a poverty pit.
Yeah.
No, not feeling it, Bucky. What about you?
I mean, I think competition, it's always a good thing,
Yes,
So
if we win.
yeah, so long as we win, I'm all for it.
How many sides does their octagon have? It looks like it has too many.
It's 8.
Oh, I said octagon. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah,
Didn't I?
it's an octagon pit.
That shirt right there, karate versus everybody, bruh. They stole that shirt design straight from UFC 205. Okay, yeah, I'm not even, bro. No, hell no. Well, I guess we should give a gas to our competitors. Keep trying. Make us try harder.
I'd say the only one that is like in this kind of space. It's not technically professional karate because it's taekwondo, but the only one that's like kind of getting big in steam in Latin America right now is combat taekwondo. But
Combat taekwondo.
they also kind of messed up with their first event by charging $50 to watch
For a
in the
pay-per-view.
in the U.S. Yeah,
You know what, guys?
like
That reminds
they're on
me. 15
ESPN and
minutes
Star
into this podcast, it's gonna be a paywall. You're gonna need to pay $15.99 to listen to the rest of this. So pull out those credit cards.
Hey, Mac, how come you haven't switched to subscriptions on Twitter yet?
What would we? So with subscriptions, why haven't I or why haven't we?
Yeah.
Because I give all my stuff free, man. Like, but if I was gonna do subscriptions or Karate Combat was gonna do subscriptions, there would need to be something higher than the level of like just normal tweets you'd put out, right? Like if I was like you can only see my bangers, the best tweets if you subscribe. Yeah, probably nobody, but but like if you're like, hey, so like Karate Combat could do that.
Like
you could have
clickbait, like,
or it doesn't have to be. I mean, it's just I feel like if you're gonna go to subscriptions on Twitter, what you need to do is you have to have a product that's worth the paywall. So essentially,
has anyone done it well?
Yes, a few have done it really well, and they've taken different avenues. Like people have like Superfan's taken subscriptions before. I don't know if he still does, but he did. And what you did is you got like his picks, all of his picks for the
that
week.
makes sense.
It became a community. So like with Karate Combat, just off the top of my head, what you kind of do is like it kind of goes in with like what Bucky was saying. It would kind of be like a thing where you get deeper access, maybe like a tutorial once a week, a 30-minute self-defense tutorial from Boss Rutan, where it's just nice. It's only published to the subscribers, not like an individual one, but like you'd also maybe get like weekly breakdowns of what's going on in the league from President Awesome, stuff like that. It would have to be something we're not posting out regularly, and then it's accomplishable 100%. I mean, for me, I'm like, if I ever did subscriptions, it would be like, okay, I'll just do the same shit I do, except I'll do it naked. I don't. Yeah, it'll just be a fucking camera of me just tweeting naked, and I'll be like, "Banger! That's a banger, boys."
On our card, there is a fighter that is sponsored. That is on OnlyFans.
Hey, wait, that reminds me.
Guess. Who is the OnlyFans fighter?
Wasn't Joe Schilling wearing OnlyFans sponsored?
Yeah.
Did that go? Did we get in any trouble for that?
I want to see why.
Because it was Dubai. I don't know. I just saw a bunch of comments about it. Only LARPing. Do you know anything about that? I mean, our time in Dubai was great, but I did see stuff going around the internet like, oh.
I mean, OnlyFans has Normal content now, you know.
That's what it was started over. It was it was like Patreon. Yeah.
And the
It's
fighter
only
I was
fans,
actually
right? So
talking
is that
about was Owens Chelmia. He's on OnlyFans, but he's just uploading like exclusive training videos.
That's cool. I'm gonna go subscribe to him right now. Then my girlfriend won't ever ask me why I have an OnlyFans account. Thanks, Mac.
Just fight
it's
stuff,
for work?
babe. Just fight
It's just fight
stuff.
stuff. I swear, you
This
get
is
that
for
for
my.
free.
This is part of my job. I have to be on OnlyFans, so I'm fully aware of all the information about the fighters.
Don't be like that, babe. Come on. Yeah. Um. Well, where do we go from here? Let's get into some news. I can still hear you. I'm gonna just grab another brewski real quick, but only LARPing. Drop us some news about what's coming up. We got Austin. Break that down for us because we're doing it at consensus. It's a big. Just describe how you even get tickets, how all that works, and what we're looking forward to coming up.
For sure, for sure. So we got big event 2.5 weeks out. Austin, Texas. Ton of fights. I mean, we got 3 pit submission grappling matches, 8 karate combat fights, and then 6 Web3 influencer fights to round out the night. It does happen to be happening inside, one of the largest crypto conferences in America, um, which is going down at the Austin Convention Center. So, from a setup perspective, it'll look a little bit similar to our Vegas show last December. I think it's slightly bigger of a box, but yeah, a couple thousand people piled on top of each other, right on top of the pit, going nuts for 5 hours, screaming. So if you're anywhere in Texas, you should really come out.
And
How
how
can you
big?
get tickets for it? And do you need consensus tickets to go to Karate Combat, or can you
Yeah.
just go to the Karate Combat?
No, you can buy tickets on your own. Just go to I think it's like consensus2024.com, and they've got tickets up for sale. I think you do have to log in, but you can use your credit card. You don't need to buy a consensus ticket.
Hell yeah. And how
I
big is
saw
consensus?
IFC.
Oh, go ahead,
It's
Mac.
big, man. It's
I
like
saw an
10,
IFC
15,000 people.
fight poster, and the competitors were wearing. I don't know if you can really call them athletes, but I'll say competitors. Uh, the IFC competitors, they were wearing like the Kumite style gi. So are they actually going to be doing that, like wearing a full like Kumite sleeveless karate gi,
I
or
don't
is
believe
it the
so.
original style of like the
I
first one?
think it's original style. I didn't hear anything about that, but it did look cool on the poster.
Yeah.
Bucky should be the one in charge of designing like the
I
crypto
think
geese.
so.
Holy shit, man.
I've actually I've put together a mock-up for a gi that's the print is the collection. It's the 1,000 man kumite printed out on a grid onto a gi. It looks dope. We gotta get them made. They gotta happen.
Uh, I vote. I'm start a petition. I vote.
Let me see. I think I tweeted it the other day. Where we at?
That would be cool though. Like, could you imagine if there were like Karate Cartel exclusive gis, and like people could start cosplaying at events as their Karate Cartel character?
What other brand is doing this? Nobody. Like, only LARPing. While Bucky's looking for that. For the people that would say, you guys are a combat sports organization, you should focus on that. Like fuck all this other stuff. Like
Yeah.
we don't care about NFTs. Like in the most simple and short way. It doesn't have to be short, but like what would you say to people like why this is important and why you feel it's important, why you feel it's like an integral part of our brand as it grows?
I mean, I think it still goes back to up on the gaming. The idea there is we've got this large awareness, getting millions of views, millions of followers, but turning those people that know about karate combat into people who are obsessed with it is tough. It just takes a lot of time or a lot of money. But we think with younger people, you may be able to fast track it by financializing things a little bit. Because if you give them a little upside by predicting who's going to win, they'll start researching the fighters ahead of time, learning their names, their backgrounds, their styles. And that's what it takes to really care. If you don't know somebody's name, I mean, you really don't care who wins at a minimum. and
100%.
and then during the event, like when you got a little bit of money on it, you definitely care a lot more. So that was the idea. And then the thing is, like, how do you make up only gaming kind of sustainable forever, where even as the rewards get pretty small, people still really care about playing. And I think a lot of that is by giving the people who play every time and are good at it these special perks and rewards and a feeling of community. And that's what this is all about. So, you know, people love personalized stuff. That was kind of the thesis behind this, you know.
And they like bragging rights.
Yeah.
Well, so do you
And
if you sign up for the
it,
karate app now, do you still get a chunk of karate coin to
Yeah, you
play?
still you still get a little bit for free. It's pretty easy to buy more if you really want to too.
Okay, well, so Mac, before you go on what you were going to say, let me make this clear to everybody. If you download the Karate Combat app, you get free crypto karate coin. You don't need to download anything else. It'll create a wallet yourself, and then you can pick fights, and you might get back more coins than you bet, or more. It's fun. It's fun. And if you put coins on people, you're not going to lose them if you lose. But if you win, you're going to get more coins. And those are worth money. So it adds an incentivization to watching Karate Combat that only LARP is talking about. And it's really fun and easy. Go ahead, Mac.
I just wanted to add though to also this point that like it is very easy to get into because like I purposely did not buy any tokens for season one just because I wanted to have the experience of the hardcore karate combat fan, and I was able to qualify for this honorary collection without having to pay for it. So this is a merit based system too. So people are saying that they're just after the money, that this is some kind of scam.
Say,
No,
bitch, we're giving you it. We're
yeah,
giving you
yeah,
it.
you can. It's kind of like in gaming. Like a lot of people get kind of upset with microtransactions,
Who gives a shit? Yep.
but like a lot of people, some people want to do it that way, like pay with real money for microtransactions. But like people are okay with that as long as there are avenues that if you put in the work, the hard work, that you can also get stuff by just putting in effort instead of hard money. Like it's all about
Yep.
options and the utility and of this token.
Yeah, look at this gold skin I got for my AK-47 while I go on a .21 KD ratio on Call of Duty, bro. It's $180. Like, and also on top of that, Bucky, I seen it. That reminds me of Ninja Turtles like a motherfucker, bro. That is so dope, dude.
Also, let's be
Yeah.
honest. Like
You,
in the future of gaming, there are going to be microtransactions where a skin is basically an
An
NFT, where it's
NFT.
just a unique skin for your character that only you have, and the only way someone can get it is if you sell it to them.
I had a pitch from somebody a long time ago when NFTs were still kind of new, where they wanted me to help them with a video game and like promote it. And they explained it to me like that as well. They're like, at some point, NFTs are gonna be like literally like a skin on like a your Call of Duty guy or like your gun or whatever. That it's an NFT, you own it, you're the only one that can have it.
I think
NFTs go way deeper.
like I'm not too big into the Web3 community. I just jumped in when I started really jumping into it when like Karate Combat was turning into a DAO. I
Mhm.
just took a deep dive into learning about it, but from what I've seen, and maybe Bucky and Only LARPing, you could disagree with me, but I feel like the reason why some of those projects didn't pan out is they were basing the project around that concept instead of basing a game and
No
having the
utility, no
Web3
utility.
technology be a solution to problems that they want in the game. Like Karate Combat is not reliant on Web3, it is amplified by Web3, I would
yeah.
argue.
Great point.
Yeah, I'd agree 100%. You see a lot of projects that kind of whether there'll be like there was a lot of like gaming projects and stuff that were kind of coming
Hmm.
up a couple of years ago, and they'd either be promising like a game or like a platform for games or whatever, and they would kind of just sort of fizzle out and go nowhere because like really that sort of aspect was more like a carrot that they were dangling, and there was already people sort of nibbling on that carrot whilst it was hanging out for the end of the stick. So
You're not talking about carrots, but okay.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, but there's very few sort of examples. Basically, is what I'm trying to say of stuff where they've kind of done anything, major. And with karate combat, one of the things that's so impressive, is that you guys really are putting on a sort of like show-stopping global event that it's not promising bells and whistles. It's like it's fully made out of bells and whistles. You know what I mean? It's like it's fully like all singing and all dancing. Like it's really doing it.
It's the Willy
Um,
Wonka's factory of combat sports.
it's fantastic. I mean, that is actually, I would say, an accurate description for sure. Because it's a breathtaking experience. The fights are incredible. The actual kind of events around the fights are incredible. And although it's like very heavily integrated into Web3, what with the app, with the up only gaming app, and the whole kind of sort of like tokenized sort of what's the word, voting on the various different aspects of the league, all these kind of elements, they are not they're sort of they're there, and they act as like a huge kind of uh a huge factor of what's going on, but they're not the only
It's
factor.
Yeah,
You know
you
what
don't
I
have to
mean? It's
walk in and give your social security number and like open up a wallet. Like, dude, you can go to a karate combat event and have no idea it's powered by Web3.
exactly. And so in that respect, I mean, it kind of for me, that's absolutely fantastic because um it serves as a beautiful gateway between the two different sides that we're talking about here. It's like a beautiful gateway for people who are on the kind of Web3 side of things, who are looking for projects that are genuinely doing something, which is that's very important. And it's also a beautiful gateway for people who are sort of interested in Web3, but are not not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
it's a great entry point because it's kind of uh, the whole thing of like being able to kind of um, to vote on the outcome of the fights in this like lossless way. It gives you a chance to kind of sink your teeth into some of these aspects of Web3, but without, like, there's more of a sort of safety net underneath you, is the way that I kind of see it,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah, it gives you an avenue to have more fun, get you more invested, but you don't have to take part in that whatsoever. If you just like combat sports, show up. If you like Web3 and you're interested in combat sports, show up.
And
It's
and honestly, it's such an easy to use interface that like you don't even need this show. It plays on Twitter. There's a lot of Web3 fans that do it, so we use a lot of those buzzwords that are known in the Web3 community. But for the average karate combat fan, you don't really need to know that to have fun with up only gaming. You don't need to know what a blockchain is. You don't need to know what a DAO is. You don't need to even know what the current price of the token is. All you
yeah.
do is you download the app, you make a wallet that is it's one step, and then you start voting on fights based off of what you know, and you get more tokens if you guess right, and you lose nothing if you don't. And then you get to vote on decisions that people actually care about in combat sports.
And if you're
You
the
don't need to
fucking
know
goat
about
at
all the
picking
Web3
stuff,
stuff.
if
It's
you're the goat at picking stuff, you're gonna maybe just end up like, hey, bro, you want a first class flight over here to Dubai? Fuck it. You want to come watch some fights? You know, person to person. Oh shit. Yeah. I mean, like, what's the downside in this? There isn't one.
a lot of other Web3 projects. Like there's such a high barrier to entry to getting involved with it because you need to
Yeah.
know so much about it, and then when you
I
get in
forgot we
there.
give you the SAT when you show up to a karate combat event, and you have to deposit $3,000 into the account. Yeah, like, bro. Keep going back. Sorry.
Yeah, and like, and there's a good reason why people are so crypto skeptical, because there's also a lot of scams out there. Like, crypto's not good or bad; it's just how you use it. It's a tool. It's and it, just like Web 2 isn't good or bad. Like the current internet that we use, it's not good or bad. It's just how you use it.
Absolutely.
But
Well,
I
so
feel like a lot of Web 3 projects, they almost have a Web 1 mentality, from what I've seen, where like there's such where you actually have to be like a fanatic of this system to actually enjoy it, and they're trying to just jump at all the new bells and whistles that come out every time without actually seeing what's the point of this and what's the purpose of it. They just want to play with it instead of actually having it used as a tool to benefit something that you want to do regardless.
absolutely. Well, with that, Bucky,
Sure.
um, tell me your favorite experience at a karate combat event. It could be beforehand at the weigh-ins, it could be boss rooting and you guys choreographing some shit, or it could be like a certain fight that you were just blown away by. Like, just tell everybody your favorite story from karate combat.
Well, that best rooting experience you were saying earlier, the boss rooting self defense lessons that you might get as a perk. Maybe
Yep.
rule number one might be don't ask boss rooting to choreograph a fight sequence with you. That's self defense number one. Don't do that.
If you tell him 50% on the kick, tell him 25%.
um, but gee, I mean, so I've been to a bunch of the fights now.
Hmm. Saw you in
I think,
Mexico.
I think one of them would have to be the Mexico experience, because so that was the first was that the first influencer fight club, or was it just the
Yes.
first one
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
I
That
went to?
in Mexico City, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was crazy, because I mean so there's a big difference between watching professionals fight
Hmm.
and and watching a bunch of jumped up jumped up influencers fight each other, kind of
Couch
thing,
quarterbacks,
so,
couch
so
quarterbacks. Yeah.
yeah, so that like that was crazy, because so like with like a professional fighter, they know how to kind of like if a punch is coming their way, how to kind of like move with it, and all this sort of stuff, whereas the influencers who were fighting, god, it was bloody. It was insane. It was because like it was very brutal. It was very brutal.
We made the choice to do 4-ounce gloves. We talked about it in a marketing meeting, and we were like, "Okay, do we give them?" And I was like, "Give them 4-ounce gloves. If they want to get in there, let them get in there. Like, let them actually hurt each other instead of like play, you know, tag with each other for a little bit with 16-ounce gloves." I was like, "Give them. They want to fight. Give them 4-ounce gloves. If they tell you no, okay, but if they're gonna say okay." And then we had like 3 knockouts, bro. Like, these guys. It's like what I feel, and I'm not cutting you off. You can keep going, but it shows the discrepancy between people that enjoy a combat sport or a sport like of any kind. This could be applied to any sport. You can sit there and talk about doing it all day, but then you watch the discrepancy in the skill level between someone who just started and someone who's been doing this shit. And it's very fascinating to see. And my hat's off to everybody that got in there and did that. Sorry, I just had to say
Yeah.
that, Bucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for real. I mean, it was because it's so like the first time that I went to see any of the fights was in DR, in Dominican Republic,
Yep.
and straight away it was the first time that I'd ever been to like a live fight night, and like afterwards I was so hyped, I was so amped up, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, I want to be a fighter. Imagine being a fighter. That would be so dope. Da, 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 and you're thinking like, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. But the reality, is actually I don't think I really could do that at all. And and it takes a hell of a lot of balls. So, seeing that kind of fold out the way that it did was pretty fucking phenomenal. Um,
I watched it right next to Only LARPing. I was like, dude, you got something here. Like they're banging. They're actually banging for it too. They're not just like playing touch buck in the park with 16-ounce gloves. These guys are going for it.
And
Yep.
yeah,
honestly, it's such interesting too with the influencer fights because their prior martial arts experience can range completely. Like there are people that have never trained before in their life, but there's also people like on this upcoming Cartel who's undefeated on like a low level, but still a competition level in Muay Thai.
It
So
brings up an argument like with watching combat sports in general, where I've always said that if two people are the same size, same athletic ability, like within reason, and one of them watches combat sports, like not even religiously, but has watched it for a long time, like they're a fan of combat sports, is always going to have like an advantage over someone who has not. Like you can pick stuff up just from watching it, from understanding. Like I don't know, man. It's just funny to watch play out, and these influencer fights are going to get better and better because now these influencers are sitting there going, "Oh shit." Like Bucky, what you're saying right there, like I better start getting my ass ready for this. And so I'll drop you a little nugget of information. I have been offered to fight in the IFC, and this is something that I'm gonna work towards. But I'm like Bucky. I watched this shit. My dad was a boxer. I've trained in the past, and even though I don't know I'm gonna be, I wouldn't necessarily be taking on someone that has a ton of like experience. I was like, I need to get my ass in shape. This is what I told
yeah,
Only LARPing. I was like, I gotta get my ass in shape because I take this serious because I know what it takes to a degree, right? I'm not acting like I'm like a pro fighter or anything, but even with me following combat sports as long as I have, I was like, dude, I need to be in shape because if I'm gonna go out there working for karate combat, I'm gonna win. I got to get my ass in shape and I got to take this serious. It's not just like touch butt in the park.
yeah. I mean, that's the way that you got to approach it. And it's funny because obviously, following on from that, the amount of sort of like Twitter engagement and stuff that you've seen, of various different sort of Web3 personalities being like, "Throw me in the pit, throw me in the pit." I feel like people don't quite
Get it?
appreciate that, how much goes into it,
Hmm.
and how seriously you really do got to take it. Because I don't know, it's I mean, maybe it was part of it was where we were in Mexico, obviously being so high up in the air. Um,
Oh yeah. Well, and dude, they still like hung in there. We saw some of the professionals let the altitude get to them.
bro, the altitude was getting to me when I was like just stepping out of my hotel.
Dude,
I'm like,
I heard
I
there are
take a
a
sip
few
of
other
tequila
people.
and I'm like,
I felt like home, bro. Like people don't know Albuquerque is so high up. Here in New Mexico, we're like 500 feet lower than that. Like I'm so used to that. It felt normal to me. I've never witnessed altitude like that. And it didn't bother me at all. But
that's
that's
a
because
huge
New
advantage
Mexico's
if
high.
you do, and that's a
What?
huge advantage if you do a IFC fight.
Ooh, dude. Okay. Only LARPing. When we go back to Mexico, that's when I'm taking my fight. Wicked
Oh.
advantage right there.
Starting on hard mode, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it won't be hard for me. It'll be hard for that other guy because I can breathe. Well, shit, dude, Bucky, we're coming up on an hour. I'm not cutting us short. If there's anything else anyone else needs to bring up, but I want to save the breakdown of the card. We have some banger fights going on. Ross Levine's coming back. We have Owen Chelmaya facing off with Maximo. That's gonna be a banger. Like those are
oh
two
shit,
karate
Maximo
com.
Apex.
Yep, Apex
Yep.
Maximo versus the ex bantamweight champion Owen Chelmaya, who's about to resubmit or what re-solidify himself in the division. He just had a banger in Mexico. A lot of people scored that fight for him. He hasn't lost any traction. So they're gonna face off, and we're gonna see if we have a new contender or if Owen's still the one. We have a bunch of the IFC fights. Like Only LARPing said, we have like 18 fucking fights going on that night. We got a bunch of stuff. I think we'll break that down on the next episode. Um, but with that, this has been good. This is educational. It's dope. Anyone got anything else?
Super excited to see what season two of the Up Only Gaming is going to
Season one.
harken.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
is
because
see,
season
this is
0.
season 0.
this is season 0. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what you guys do zeros?
It's the prequel.
It's the prequel.
The
Yeah.
pilot.
Ah,
It sort of was. I mean, it was getting built a lot of the way. So I feel like that
yeah.
season 0 is fair.
Oh,
So I
wait,
guess to end
that
it,
reminds me. That reminds me though. When Bucky was talking about, I have to just give a tip of the hat to the production squad of Karate Combat. Bucky, you were saying like, I don't know how you guys like. There was the rainstorm in
Yeah.
Dominican. Like, bro, dude, here's a story. I remember hours before Dominican card was supposed to start. We're doing it outside in that amphitheater. There was like a tropical fucking storm moving
Yeah.
through. And Darren sends me a fucking video, like the guy I work on socials with, and he goes, well, and like, dude, he points down and there's like an inch of water over his shoes. And he points at the pit. He goes, pit's got about 6 inches of water in it. And I'm like, what the fuck? How are we gonna do this? And I remember showing up to the venue, like it's soaking wet. They have a tarp over that they're like vacuuming the water out, like,
Yeah.
and they carried all the technical equipment out and they're bringing it back out. And I'm like, are we gonna be able to get this on, started on time? And everyone's kind of like, I don't know, bro. And we got that shit going on time. So shout out, Christian, Mackenzie. No, none of you guys will know any of these people, but these are the people behind the scene, Enrique, that make these shows keep going in impossible conditions. There was 6 inches of fucking water. It was a kiddie pool.
Zoltan.
The pit was a
Yeah,
The-
and it really did sort of seem against all odds. It's still rolling out, and like I'm never gonna forget that because it was just like the contrast between seeing how bad the conditions were, like just through the environment, the
yeah.
fucking weather. There's nothing you can do about that. To
But
them,
nothing can
how
stop you when you're
show-stopping-
bullish on karate.
Yeah, God was
Well,
like, "Hey,
that's
bro,
it.
your karate's pretty dope. Here's a fucking tropical rainstorm."
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
were like,
yeah,
this,
yeah.
"Fuck you." These
Karate
geese
is
are
not for the faint
waterproof.
of heart.
We'll fight in fucking swimming flippers and goggles, man. We don't give a fuck.
Honestly,
And
Boss
we'll go out with
Rutan in
snorkels.
Here Comes the Boom has a quote of like, "This isn't baseball. We'll fight in the rain."
What's that supposed to mean, Mac? You know I love baseball.
I know. I respect the Indians, Cap.
Hey, dude, thanks, bro. Chief Wahoo's a legend.
But yeah, that contrast, between those impossible conditions and then the fucking heart-stopping show was yeah, absolutely astounding.
Yeah,
Bucky, who's your favorite fighter so far?
I'm curious. Yeah,
Yeah, well, do you know what? It was the guy who inspired me the most was Maximo. Because
Love it.
I can't remember who he was fighting.
French.
French guy, yeah. So we'd met the French guy. I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head. We'd met him at the hotel, and we've been hanging out with him. And we were like, yeah, we're gonna be rooting for you, bro. Hell yeah. And then it gets to the fight, and like Maximo's just annihilating him, and we're like, oh my god, this is like uncomfortable to watch. Oh shit.
Dude, when
Uh,
he put him down against the pit and was just banging on him, I was right
Bro.
there. I'm the one who has that angle. That was my video of him just right in front of us. So
Oh my
bop,
god,
bop.
it was brutal. Yeah, and but Maximo had such great like sort of showmanship, and when he,
Composure, all of it.
exactly, it was really like God, man, like that win was really his, and he really
And that
kind of
that was just a few miles from where he like his family's from. Like he knew everyone right there. And like to stay that composed when you're starting to win the fight like that and not gas yourself out. Yeah, Maximo's a shit. Shout out Maximo and shout out Owen Chelmia, both my boys.
The local news interviewed him after the fight.
Attaboy, yeah.
And just to shout out Owen, just from my own personal experience, this was back when I was just a fan of Karate Combat, and I never imagined I would be doing anything with the organization.
Same.
I was going for my EMT class. I was doing EMT class. I was also in university, and I was just exhausted. Didn't sleep well that night before, and they had the Thursday fight in the afternoon before my class, and I was just kind of like half watching it because I was just so like dead. But then Owen's fight against Muley Dude came on, and it was such a high paced fight that like just adrenaline pumped into me. Like it's those moments that like really get you pumped in as a combat sports fans because it plays with your emotions when you watch things like that, and those are things like you'll never forget.
Quay Hagen versus Agaev, bro. It's what this show is literally named after. When that fight was that epic, and everyone started chanting, shout out McGregor Rousey. It might have been him who started the chant. One more round, and it still sticks. It happens every event now. Man,
So it's
it's
actually
awesome.
Bruno, the Battle Brunos.
Was it Bruno versus Bruno that did that? Yeah, that makes
Battle
sense.
Brunos.
That makes sense because the next one, yes, next one went 5 rounds. But yeah, same fight card. Well, shit, boys. Only LARPing. You got anything else? We'll break down the card next week, or maybe if we do another one this Thursday, since this one's technically behind. We needed to.
I'm ready for. I go to bed.
Dude, his alien's so funny because it actually does what he's doing. So he's like trying to sound professional, and with that, we log off, and he's like, oh. One time, bro, his arms got stuck doing the most weird, funny shit. We've had some funny outtakes on happens. He says. Well, with that, boys, Bucky, I cannot appreciate your time enough, man. You are a legend. You're funny as hell. I hope I see you in Austin. I might be bringing my girlfriend to the event. She'd think you're hilarious. But with that, Mac Tyson, Bucky, Only LARPing. We'll see you guys in Austin, Texas. Bucky, still hasn't RSVP'd, but I think we're gonna see him there. But with that
Hey,
said,
it's been a
boys,
pleasure.
hey, dude, no, it's a pleasure having you guys around, your whole community, and yeah, I think with that, one more round, we're out.
One more round. Let's go.
Let's
Later,
go.
boys.
See?